where those who perceive truth may strive to make others see.
A big, powerful America, and shoot them for what?
On that continent, we are trying to forge a new identity for which we need each other.
With the last words on my lips, that I am a revolutionary. And you're going to have to keep on saying that.
All right. This is a hard conversation that we really need to have at this point, but it's about that time, I would say. And this is not really scripted. I got like 5 points, but that I got written down here, but it's not gonna really be a heavily scripted dialogue here, but you guys really should understand something. No one's coming to save you. This isn't a video game. This isn't your fairy tale story that that's been pushed to us for so long, right? Where, one person just comes in and completely scoops, and saves the entire country, and the spy goes to whatever foreign country and disarms the nukes and things like that. This isn't a fairy tale. This isn't a point. There's not going to be a point to where you're looking back at today and you're going to say, "Oh, thank goodness that one person saved the day." It's not going to happen. And I really do feel for you in terms of understanding the stories that we've been told and the stories that we've been fed as kids. But it's not real. Okay? And let me tell you, throughout history, you'll see that it's not real, right? The American Revolution didn't start didn't take place because of one individual guy. You have people that made differences, right? But when it comes down to the actual act of what needed to happen, who were the heroes of the American Revolution? That's not, there's no one person. You understand? That doesn't exist. It is a group of people, a society filled with people that have said, hey, enough is enough, for whatever reason. And it looks like, I think you guys need to understand something. It looks like we can't keep handing this down regardless. This is why I kind of like, I'm gonna stay away from the whole like Trump bashing that goes on, because we kind of turn him into the focal point, and that's honestly not the case. It's just like this idea of what's happening, right? Even if you're like whatever's going on, this isn't going to be something that we can even pass on. Even before Trump, we couldn't pass this on. That's kind of why I kind of like this idea of having a chaos agent, honestly, because it does put us in perspective of, oh, the end game for the frog in the water that's supposed to stay in the pot until it boils alive. This is the end game. That's what we were here for. But now at this particular point, a lot of you guys are kind of coming to an understanding that we actually can't sit and do nothing the way things have been so far, right? The generations before us, they passed down a scam, okay? And a lot of them are very proud of that. In fact, they'll call it whatever it is, but it was a scam, okay? You can't afford housing. You can't afford to live basic like your grandparents lived for a reason. Okay, this has been a pyramid scheme. We're out of options. I want you guys to understand that this, what comes next, it is going to be centered around people coming together, educating themselves, and really going out and doing something for themselves. Okay? You need to understand that. This doesn't just stop. This doesn't just magically go away. Politicians decide that, oh, we're gonna do something that makes sense. I'm sorry, it doesn't work like that. Okay? This is a system. There's no one person that's going to stop the entire system. That doesn't exist. And that's the thing, guys. I want you guys to see something. This idea of where we're at today, what's happening right now, we have to face the bad news that nobody's coming to save us, right? But the good news is that we are those people that carry us on into a future that makes sense. That's the difference. Okay? There's going to have to be people that come together and do this. And I want you guys to understand that this, what's happening now, the wealth inequality, we'll say, right? This idea of wealth inequality, it's interesting because that doesn't, this doesn't churn what we have now. It hasn't churned out a system of efficiency, right? There is, Elon's a joke. I'm sorry if you don't know that, but Elon's a joke. But when it comes down to waste, fraud, and abuse, there is plenty, right? Just most of it's in the Pentagon, right? Most of it's he just missed that target-rich environment, as he called it. But the idea here is that it does exist, though, that concept of inefficiency. It does exist, right? And I want to help you guys understand something with AI, that this whole field. The people in China, they were able to produce DeepSeek with 2 magnitudes lower the cost in terms of actually churning out what they churned out. 2 magnitudes. This is what we have here. It's not working. It hasn't worked for a long time. And you guys need to understand something. When it comes down to, I think a lot of us understand that we've heard Boeing in the news, and we've seen these guys are putting planes, basically gluing planes together, basically, right? It's a joke, right? But I want you guys to understand something. Boeing isn't just a airline for the public. They're also a weapons defense contractor. When it comes down to this culture that's been developed by the weapons industry, this is me personally, I believe that this is what we're seeing here. This is a symptom of that culture that has been created in the weapons industry. They've lost so much in terms of this idea. Competition is not the name of the game. People say that, but they don't really. That's not a thing, right? Even our favorite Antichrist, Peter Thiel, got on stage and he said, "I actually hate competition." And people people like business people will look at that like, wow, that makes sense. You're just gonna rise above everybody, and you don't really. It really takes you to really understand. This guy was funded by the CIA. He was fully that was his main client for Palantir. For the initial phase of the actual getting in the door. I'm not sure how many years, but you guys need to understand something. Peter Thiel said that because he knew, hey, I sold my soul. I deserve whatever comes with that. Do you understand that these people don't have... They have great advertisements for a lot of these things. They have excellent advertising. But when it comes down to rubber hitting the road, unfortunately, it's just not the case. In so many different ways, it's not the case. We fall short. We've fallen short. This idea, for instance, in another case, is when we talk about what the weaponry that was produced, I believe it was by Iran. They shouldn't, looking at the amount of resources or money that Iran has, they shouldn't have been able to produce some kind of weapons. This was something that I've heard, and I don't remember exactly where I heard this from, but I do remember hearing that, and I believe it. I do believe it, but take that with a grain of salt because I don't know exactly where I heard that from. But this idea, these people aren't efficient. The people who rule over us, they are not efficient. They are not the people who produce. They are not the most intelligent among you. They're not the bravest. They're not the people who work the hardest. They are the people who are absolutely in a league of their own when it comes down to looking the other way. When it comes down to selling their soul, that's how you get what we have now. That's how you get to the people that rule over us now and today. People in there's a Middle Eastern country that I'm not sure exactly which one, but there was a corrupt government in place, and this government decided that they wanted to punish the public for protesting against them for whatever reason. And that government they completely miscalculated the response from the people. They completely miscalculated because they did some kind of government shutdown to where they were just they tried to basically put it in a vice grip in terms of their actually the capabilities for people in that country to utilize the internet, what sites that they can use or whatever. And they really put the squeeze on these guys. Only government approved sites were basically going out, and the idea was, hey, we need to stop these guys from organizing. What they didn't understand was that the people wouldn't just accept that. They weren't just going to say, oh, okay, well, I guess we have to do what the government says now. And large swaths of that population got virtual VPNs, right? So basically, what that was is basically these guys got together and decided, hey, we're gonna get VPNs now, and as a result, the government no longer held that power. They no longer held that vice grip over the people after that. What we need to really understand is that we can't continue to go down this rabbit hole, right? And this is it. A lot of people are just like, I mean, bless your heart if you're a Democrat or a Republican, honestly. Like the idea here is, I mean, we're all we're poor people dressing up and playing cosplay for Halloween. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what we are to everyone else. Okay? I want you guys to really, really get that through your head. It doesn't exist. Right? When these people look at you, they don't see that. They see people that need to be ruled over, and the best way to do that is to give them their costume. Let them go out and scream. We need to understand something and come to a realization that wealth, in terms of the definition of wealth, it's going to have to be redefined in order for us to get out of this right now. Okay? And I'm thinking about calling this the town square, basically. And that's the idea here. We don't get out of this unscathed. As people, as a general population of people. Okay? You can't just say, hey, look, I got my particular job where I can suck up to Elon Musk for a few pennies and be okay. Because then your kid comes out. And their kid comes out. And at some point, they're going to say, like, man, Dad, Granddad, you didn't do anything for us? Nothing? You just let these guys rule over us? And, I mean, God forbid, you know, like, but, I mean, I'll be honest with you guys, it's looking, these ideas of 15-minute cities, or quote-unquote, Trump is calling it freedom cities. Yeah, I'm sorry. They're that's Epstein Island 2.0. That's exactly what it is. So these people, what they're doing, how they're going about things now, a lot of these guys are really just, it seems like, they're just trying to get everybody desperate enough to accept their solution, right? They really want the Antichrist, Peter Thiel and Palantir and everything else, and these weirdos like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos to rule over us. So get out of your particular understanding of what team or what costume you put on for Halloween. There needs to be a very real understanding that we don't make this. We don't make it out of this playing that game. And we'll say that concludes our town square. I certainly hope you guys can see what's next for yourself and do something for yourselves. Okay? For your sake, and also for the sake of future generations that are going to look back today. Good luck.
Where those who perceive truth may strive to make others see.
A big, powerful America, and shoot them for what?
On that continent, we are trying to forge a new identity for which we need each other.
With the last words on my lips, that I am a revolutionary. And you're going to have to keep on saying that.